Thank you all for your interest and coming forward for this meeting. I have just started an online batch also, which will continue. And my idea is to kind of withdraw myself from all this management so I can now focus on starting Bhakti Vaibhav course, which I intend to start after Janmashtami. And that would be extremely time consuming for me because unfortunately or fortunately, I will have to do everything for that. Unlike Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav has far more evaluations. You have speaking assessments, many other things like that. It's very, very time consuming. So I would not have any opportunity to do any other live Bhakti Shastri. In fact, the current live Bhakti Shastri batch, I'm just very soon going to make it online. I'm going to come out of it, give them all the recordings to hear. So therefore, I thought I'll ask our senior batch students who have graduated to take up the evaluation part, particularly of the OBA. There is already a team of devotees who also take the Shloka test. So two evaluations are at our end, OBA and Shloka test. That's going on, and OBA. Like this, so all of you have signed up for OBA. Thank you for that. So on an average, just in terms of a time commitment, what it means to all of you, it will be like one OBA per week, which means four OBA per month. And OBA in the beginning may take more around, let's say, 10 minutes in the beginning. But once you get used to it, it will be like 5 minutes job to review it. It's not much. So when I did it, it was like that. Mother Medhavni, Ramakrishna Poo, you have been regularly doing. Mother Medhavni, you have been also doing, or you have been managing largely? Or you also have been checking OBA?
Yeah, initially I was checking, but the last part of NOD I did not review. But before that, I had reviewed BG 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so Mother Medhavni had been doing this. Ramakrishna Prabhu, Mother Vasana had been active for my 2020-23 batches. For both of you, how much time would it on an average take for one paper? Is it fair enough to say 5 to 10 minutes? Mother Medhavni and Ramakrishna.
I would say Ramakrishna Prabhu, you would like to go first?
Go ahead, anyone of you.
Sorry. So I would say, yeah, am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, so Prabhu, I would say on an average 15 minutes, you can say.
Achha, one paper will take 15 minutes like that, huh?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. So for me, it'll take about 20 minutes when I start the first or the second paper. And then I have the points in mind, and then the subsequent papers get much less time, 5 to 10 minutes. But the first few papers will take more.
Okay, so let's say on an average,
because we don't have an answer key. Is that something we are working on? That have an answer key where devotees were checking. Also, there is consistency. Because we have many evaluators right now. There could be subjective.
Yeah. Let me define the rules for checking so that we don't make it so complicated. It's pretty simple. We don't have to get into all those domains and areas. Let me define that. Thank you for that. So on an average, the time if we talk about will be on an average 15 minutes. So let's say one OBA per week, that makes 4 OBA per month. Is that okay for all of you to manage that much time? Let's say 15 minutes per week. We do that. So how Kuntal Prabhu will be organizing those OBA allocation. So he will give 4 OBAs at the beginning of, let's say he gives 4 OBAs tomorrow. So you have 1 month to complete the checking of those 4 OBAs. That's the idea. Fine. Now, the point here is the OBAs is not something which is going to come every month. For some month there are courses are going on. OBA happens at the end of the unit. So it may just happen, let's say for the next 2 months you have no OBAs, but the third month from now you have OBAs. So at that particular time, that particular month, we may have to allocate, let's say, 4 to 8 OBAs to each one of you. So that within 1 month, all the OBAs are settled. And for the next 2-3 months, you have no OBAs. So is that okay? Making sense? Fine. So that's doable here. Thank you for that. Second thing, now coming back to the how to evaluate OBAs. I went through, I believe I checked for Nitai Prampu, right? And Mother Taruni Gopika. Yeah, Nitai Prampu Yadaiga. So Nitai Prampu, is it okay if I can share yours and Mother Taruni Gopika's paper with the team here?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Prabhu.
So I went through their paper. I'll send his initial paper and then second time when he rewrote, and that second evaluation also for you as a reference. So as part of evaluation, just to make it very clear for all of you, when it comes to OBA, the objective of OBA is to check our understanding. And the idea of OBA is to create the sense whatever we speak based on Shastra. So OBA would very clearly define. Let me give an example. The OBA is from, let's say, Bhagavad Gita Unit 1, and it says, what is the practical application of tolerance in your life, in a personal life and as a devotee life? In other words, find a personal application, preaching application. Personal application means in terms of relationship, how essential it is to cultivate tolerance. And in preaching, how important it is to cultivate tolerance. In preaching means when you're going out for book distribution, it's not that everyone is going to receive book from you. So how you have to have that, Sahishnuna is a quality here. How important it is. So the idea here is the question may ask you, please describe or explain about this quality as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 2.14, refer to Prabhupada purport, and you can give some additional references. If this is a question, what it means largely, if I have to write an answer or the idea behind the question that we want to see what students should write, he should largely speak on the subject matter of tolerance in the two areas, personal application, preaching application. Now, whatever I say on that topic should be largely backed by some Vedic authority. The first Vedic authority in that sense comes Prabhupada purport, that's particular purport, then Krishna's verse, and then we can after that take for additional references. Additional references comes the last. If you have not given enough reference to the reference which we have given in the question, for example, 2.14, Mata Spasha Sukantaya, that is where you're supposed to base your answer. But if you are given references from 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but you have not referred 2.14 enough, then that's not a good answer. We are not checking your GK because what happens these days, papers can be easily copied. Some of you had found in the past, a husband, wife will sit together, right, etc., etc. Those things will happen. And now you have Mr. Chat GPT, your dear friend. You write a topic to him. He will give you commentary of authors which you have never ever heard also. We would give you such a high-end references. So that's not the idea. Idea is very clear of the OBA. What reference has been given, that should be considered first. After you have justified that, then you can go for additional references from Prabhupada books. We are not checking how knowledgeable you are, how much Shastra you know. What we are checking is, can you speak based on Shastra? When you speak, is your words backed by Srila Prabhupada's words? When you speak, is your words backed by what Krishna or Shastra speaks? That is what the idea. And of course, then there is a context of personal application and preaching application, etc. This is what we have. For now, with this as a thing, this is your standard key, OBA key for all the OBAs. We don't have to look for any standard OBA key because you all have read through. If there is a particular reference which is given to you, what we can do here, what we can do now, when you assign papers, assign, let's say, Madan Sundar, you assign a paper from the same subject, because then when she has to repeatedly check, it will become easier for her. If you, let's say, you give one paper to Madan Sundar from NOD, other from NOI, third from VG Unit 1, fourth from Ishopanishad, उनका भक्ति शास्त्र दोबारा हो जाएगा. She will have to study Bhakti Shastri all again. So make it simple for them. So we'll give you from one particular unit only. So which means before you sit down, you have read through the reference properly. You have understood the subject. 2.14, you have read through Prabhupada proper clearly. Now this is the key, answer key. What Prabhupada has said, what question. Based on that, now you review the answer. How much here? This is what I did with Nitai Pranpu's question. I'll send you his question paper. So first question paper, the OBA that I was checking, I don't remember which was, probably it was for Bhagavad Gita or something. He had written a wonderful answer. Only thing is, he forgot. Shastra Chakshu. It was like a motivational talk he gave in the answer, which was very nice. I mean, if you have to go through, you'll say fantastic answer. There was nothing wrong in the answer. And I mentioned to him, I said, there's nothing wrong, but the point is, this is not the OBA. This kind of key messages or keywords or statement, you can find it anywhere on Google. But what OBA wants to see, how much and how well you can speak based on Shastra. And how answers should be largely written, and I'll speak about all this to our future students also. Uh, the best way to present is in point wise. So let's say in personal application, tolerance. So we can say Srila Prabhupada in the purport gives an example that we all exhibit quality of tolerance to some extent or other. And Prabhupada gives an example of how a housewife, despite how hot it is outside, in the summer season, she will still go into the kitchen and cook. And now we can base your answer based on that and now give an explanation. Without tolerance, it's just not possible. Everyone has to exhibit tolerance. And now, to support that point that Prabhupada said, you can add furthermore, examples. You can say just like an employee has to tolerate inconveniences that he has to face while going to the office, but he has to because at the end of the day, he needs bread and butter. So living in this world is inevitable, unavoidable, not to have tolerance. And Krishna therefore says, one who can cultivate tolerance can live happily in this world. Otherwise, this world can be really, really painful. So that's about personal side. Similarly, preaching application, Prabhupada in the purport doesn't mention much about preaching application, but now defining on the quality of tolerance, just like verse says, don't get too despondent, don't get too ecstatic. Just a change of season happens, success, failure comes and go. Similarly, as you're doing book distribution or you're giving classes or programs, it may happen that for the first few weeks or first few hours, nobody may take a book or may hear to you. But know for sure, if you continue sincerely endeavoring, then Krishna will reciprocate. So our duty here is not to count the result. Our duty here is to focus on the work, action. So now, this is kind of making, I'm just very hypothetically right up here, I'm just making up something. So it's personal and preaching application. And then a person wants to further write, he can say, Dukhale Mashashvatam, or to say this is the nature of the world. We all have to do it. So something like that, on that basis, which means everything that you claim has to be backed by an evidence. And that's what I liked about Mother Taruni Gopika's answer. She had done it beautifully. And then I referred that to Nitai Prabhu, saying that, see her answer sheet. She has done it the way actually I was looking forward. And then Nitai Prabhu also framed it in that way. So I'll send you that for all of you for your reference. You can take a look at it. On that, if you have any questions, you can revert back. Now, in terms of actual evaluation, maybe the format of writing may not be same as I just said right now. The format of writing may differ. So you can on principally see if they have covered the things that you wanted. And if in case somebody has really, really done a blunder, he has not given any references, then we have to ask him to rewrite. But if somebody has done justice, and in case that person turns out to be on a, near to the passing mark, then you can pass him, but with a clear disclaimer written. Dear devotee, kindly note, we are considering this as your first attempt, so we want to remind you how it has to be written. So kindly note the papers. Why don't we do one thing? We can also have some students map to them. So they get to check the papers of those students only.
That is the plan.
Yeah. What about this? So Quintal Pro gonna map some students to you and you check their papers only. So, when you give an improvement, actually you can see if they're improving or not. And then because many times students ask, we're not getting feedback and all that, how, so in that case, you need to be, because generally evaluators information is not revealed. We will not. But in case if you feel a student is genuine, if they want to have a communication with you to understand, then we can facilitate that also, where they can have a communication and learn from you exactly how to do it. Or else I'll do at my end that part if somebody has questions. Fine. All right, this is it at my end. Any questions or any comments on this? If this all of you can do this, I promise after Janmashtami, I'm not saying which date after Janmashtami, but after Janmashtami, I'll start Bhakti Dharma. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guruji, Dharmat Pranam.
Okay, take it. Madam, go ahead. Madam Madami after that.
Prabhuji, in the handbook, the student handbook from the Mayapur Institute, they have given this sample answer and how should they write, and they have also given this assessment criteria.
Okay.
So can we refer those?
Yeah, you can refer those and see what I said, how much they differ. Let me know. And the sample answer is only one sample answer, which anyways I'm going to share with all of you. But you go back and see that, and then let me know how much we differ there, or is it same? Okay, you can revert to me on that. Yes, Madam Medavni.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Danat Pranam. Prabhuji, here you are talking about Nitai Pran Prabhu's only NOD answer sheet. You know, wherein if somebody refers to Nitai Pran Prabhu's before and after answer, very, very clear. So can we do like that for every unit? Because I know Ramakrishna Prabhu has done, has given clear wherever somebody has not clear. Maybe we have to ask that person that can we share your paper only with the evaluators. We share a before and an after paper. We have such scenarios in almost all the units. Where I'm coming from is like you explained. Haribol, am I audible?
Yeah, Mother, I'm audible. My point is, what's your objective?
You're not audible.
Hare Krishna. Audible?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just saying, what's the objective by sharing so many papers from different units? We are sharing paper with all of you, not with the students. I hope I'm clear. Papers are not going to.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are very clear. I'm also clear that you're not sharing the paper with the students. Say, for example, if Nitai Pran Prabhu and Medhavani Sakhi Devi Dasi want to evaluate NOD papers, right? Both of us, we will get only Nitai Pran Prabhu's before and after paper. We know after paper is a perfect paper, and basis that we will correct all NOD papers.
That is not the right understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mother, that's
So what is the right understanding?
Yeah, you kind of, I believe you're stuck in the idea of having a answer sheet for all OBA based on which we evaluate. We should not, I'm just saying, principally we understand how OBA needs to be written. Principally, we understand how OBA needs to be written, but not be tied to the idea of answer sheet, because it could happen that OBAs may also change. We may change the OBA. So then answer sheet.
The OBA questions are fixed, na Prabhu? There are only 2 questions.
No, we can change. It's up to me. I can change that also. So we don't need to be tied to the answer sheet idea again, because you're going back to that. Principally, we understand how to evaluate. And once we understand principally, as I said, let's do the evaluation. That's all. Because if we tie to one particular answer, consider that that's not the way, because that answers are not given for OBS in general. Because everyone can have their own way of expression. It's not a closed book answer. It's an open book, which means you have all the right to express yourself in a way. So we cannot pinpoint to a particular answer sheet. Fine.
Prabhu, my only concern here is we'll become so much subjective. Some person, may not, I as an evaluator of BG1 or whatever, for a tolerance question, I may not look for Matras Parshos Konteya because I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not perfect, right? I may miss Matras Parshos Konteya, which is a basic requirement for an answer to pass. If I forget and make that person pass, that person is not actually entitled to pass. You get what I mean? We should have some basic 3-4 points which have to be in the answer for a person to clear the paper. That's all I'm saying. Because we are all different evaluators. We ourselves may miss a key point in a particular answer when we are evaluating. And we are missing that Matras Parshas too. I'm evaluating 10 papers. All the 10 papers don't have Matras Parshas to Konteya. All the 10 people have cleared. Because I, as the evaluator, does not know or does not realize that this is the key point of this particular OBA. That's where my point is from.
I just give the key point, lah. Didn't I tell you?
You gave the key point for as an example, Prabhuji. I'm saying for the OBA question, which is either a pre-check application or a personal question.
This is not how you evaluate OBA. Why don't you rise above what you've been talking about? This is not a closed book examination. This is OBA. And principally, how you check OBA is whatever the question says. You, as an evaluator, have to go and read those references yourself and then see at least some of the part of those references which are mentioned in the question have been addressed by the writer or not. All right. So your answer key is already given in those references. Every OBA question pinpoints clearly to a reference. That reference is your answer key. And from that, I already made a point. Before you start checking an OBA, go back and read those references yourself, which has been mentioned in that OBA. So you understand the question properly yourself. And then you begin to evaluate. Are you getting, everyone is fine with this? Don't get into the point of that we need an answer, कहते हैं one some answer key for OBA, because each one of us going to express differently. Each one of us, for each one of us, one of the other point of Prabhupada purport may highlight more than other. And if somebody uses that point, doesn't mean the other person is not right or wrong. We don't want to do that. It's an OBA. It's something which we express. OBA is like somebody is giving a class on 2.14 verse. If somebody is giving a class on 2.14 verse, how do you evaluate? We say that this class 2.14 verse class has to have this 5 points. It doesn't work like that. We see how well he's able to align with Guru Sadhu Shastra. That's all. And that is reference. The question mentions that reference points. All right? Yes, Nitai Prabhu.
Prabhu. Prabhu, you mentioned that a kind of references that you have given in your talk. You said that we should be, the person should be referring to Shil Prabhupada and should be backed by some Vedic evidences from the scriptures. There could be a possibility if someone is quoting some spiritual master in their writing, then how to take that as? Because I might have heard about.
No, that's okay. This is the third level of reference they can use. The first level of reference that needs to be there, which has to be given maximum weightage in the paper when you evaluate, is the direct reference that the question mentions. That's the first reference point which you have to give weightage. And that is what you need to read for yourself. Then the second reference point which the student can quote is outside of the references that we have given them. Bhagavatam, CC, etc. And the third reference could be, I heard Falana Dikana speaker speak this point in the class. That is allowed. When you sit and give a class, don't we say that you're giving a class? Okay, I heard from so and so. So we don't question that person. Unless it's really controversial, then we can ask. If you think it's okay, then we allow. But that third reference cannot become the first reference. So I heard from my spiritual master on the quality of tolerance as follows. This is not OBA. OBA means the first reference on which you weigh your answer is the references that we have provided in the OBA. Second, then after you have covered those properly, then you can go to outside references of those references, Bhagavatam, CC, Ishopanishad, etc. Third, now you can quote others.
Okay.
These are three. I believe one of you can, just make these 3 points, write it down and send them to the group. People are clear how to evaluate these 3 parameters. And there's nothing fourth. I'll tell you what fourth happens. Fourth is, some things which we write, which we think this is what tolerance means. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and has no reference to it. That is not to be allowed because then we are speculating. Now in Bhakti Shastri course, we have not have that verbal assessments where we ask the student to give a presentation. Now that will go to the next level in Bhakti Vaibhav, where every participant in Bhakti Vaibhav would have to give at least 2 or 3 presentations. And that 2 or 3 presentation is the same way as I'm telling you for OBA, is on the same basis you will be evaluated. You will be given a topic. Now you speak on the topic. A topic will be based on a particular set of verses of that particular section which you have to read and speak. If let's say the 5th canto, Rishabdev is speaking to his sons about the quality of mind, there are 2 or 3 verses he speaks. When the reference is to speak what Rishabdev says, you cannot start speaking anything and everything about the mind from Bhagavad Gita. The question is not to see how much you know about mind. The question is, can you speak in Parampara as Rishabdev has spoken? At least you first cover that point. Not come and give a one-time session on mind management that you give in college. And you give a very nice presentation. Say, Prabhuji, presentation ko to 100 bachche attend karte hain. That's not the objective of that. Just speak what Rishabdev said and support that. So that's the whole idea. The syllabus should be covered. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
अभी जब भक्ति वैभव में जब प्रेजेंटेशन होगा, I only will have to sit and evaluate. तो आप तब तक तो सीख ही जाओगे ओबीए कैसे evaluate करते हैं. नहीं सीखोगे तो आपका सबका प्रेजेंटेशन में कैंसिल करने वाला हूं. ऑलराइट, तब प्रेजेंटेशन से पहले ये मत क्वेश्चन पूछना, प्रभु जी थोड़ा की पॉइंट्स बता दीजिए प्रेजेंटेशन प्रिपेयर कैसे करनी है. वो है ना क्वेश्चन में ऑलरेडी रेफरेंस. Okay. All right. So Kantalpo will take it forward with all of you. I have to go back for the drama meeting now. They're waiting for me for the drama, and we have to have fun with you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhananjay.
हरे कृष्णा. ठीक है, तो डिवोटीज में सबको एक्सेस दे देता हूँ, बिकॉज वी हैव गॉट इन द OBA WhatsApp group there is also a link in the description. So when you follow the link, right now you may not have, so I will have to give the access to it. So in which I will make sure that there are two ways the allocation will happen. One is for a given devotee, you will be assessing him, and he will continue all throughout. And the second thing is, for each devotee, you will focus on one module questions, so that it is much more easier, as Prabhuji mentioned. So I will give the access and I will drop a note. I think right now devotees are busy with Janmashtami. So maybe as we come across or just complete the Janmashtami, then we can pick it up more. But I will just start assigning now. But we are cognizant of the fact that all of you are busy with the Janmashtami preparations as well. So, but I will just see that in next week I could at least assign it, and well, you can pick it up in just after the Janmashtami for the assessment. If you have got any queries, let me know, or else we can also speak to Prabhuji. Okay.
Prabhu, please assign for me from September, Prabhuji.
Yes,
This month
Mataji. Yes. For you, it is only September onwards. I hope the admissions and everything for your daughter gets.
Still in Pune.
Oh, she's coming to Pune?
Yeah, I'm in Pune only. Mostly Wednesday morning I'm coming there. So I'll meet probably some of you all in Megapolis, Sangria Center. I'll be there Wednesday morning.
Yes, please come. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one more thing is, so like Prabhuji mentioned, are you going to allocate like Bhagavad Gita to 2 people, BG unit 1 to 2 people, unit 2 to 2 people, unit 3 to 2 people? Is that how you want to allocate? Or सबको सभी मिलेगा? कैसा allocate करने वाले हैं प्रभु?
Right now, what I will do is maybe 1 or 2 module at max. I'll try to stick to 1 module per devotee. If required, maybe 2 modules. Okay, and maybe a consistent same student devotee will be assigned, so that it is a consistent one. Like somebody like Ramakrishna Prabhu is evaluating me, so my all mostly papers will go to Ramakrishna Prabhu. So there is a trend, and he could understand, and if required, he can give the pointers in the sheet itself. So that's how it will be. But we'll stick to at least 1 module. But if there is a need that there are OBS being accumulated, we might go to the 2 modules being assigned. But I will stick to 1 module so that it is not a overburden in the initial start.
Okay. Correct. So now you will be assigning, you have NOI right now, right? What is it you have now?
So right now for the on-demand, we don't have any. On-demand as in the ones which are on-demand, they are doing for English and Hindi. We don't have any. We only have it for NOI 2023 batch, NOD 2023 batch. So which are almost around 20 as in maximum 25 papers. Okay. And another one is, and another one is nothing but your resubmissions which are happening
2022.
For 22, correct. So at the start, I'll still stick to 4 OBS start of the month, or the 4 OBS to be completed over a period of 1 month. But if required, when there is a lot of backlog, it will vary between 4 to 8. We'll try to stick to a bare minimum so that it can be a balanced out. Like it should not be up and down. It should be balanced out and have a steady stream of corrections.
Sure. And also, Prabhuji, please allocate husband and wife papers to 1 evaluator, so that same evaluator, when he evaluates, he knows whether it is, discussed or, that parameter can be checked.
Yes, Mataji, I will try at maximum possible. Sometimes what would happen is that maybe some or the other will not submit at the same time. It might come.
That's okay. I'm saying initial evaluation में जब ये सब लोग लिखते हैं, तभी you assign husband and wife paper to the same evaluator. So because we found some instances, that's why we want to ensure that is also checked.
Yes, we'll keep that in mind during the assignment. Yes, sure. So that will be the third criteria. Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Anything else? Shekhar Prabhu, I think Bipasha Mataji is not there, but you will be able to convey this, right? I will share the recording of this session as well.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll make her inform. Thank you.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Kuntal Prabhu, just one more
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes we get answers in Hindi also, right? So just you can check among this group who is comfortable to evaluate in Hindi.
I
So
will
that
put
way
a
you can
poll.
segregate them. Yeah.
Good point, Prabhuji. I will put a poll for that, English and Hindi, and then we'll do the language assignment. Yes.
Sure.
Mostly we are getting the ones not handwritten. It could be very slim chance that we can get a handwritten one. Very rarely I have seen. But then if you feel that it's not well written, then you can let me know. I will ask devotee to maybe rewrite our better version of it next time.
Yeah, for Hindi we get those in handwritten
Yes,
like scanned copies.
right. We had
I'm
only
okay
one or two so far.
Yeah, you can give me Hindi papers, Prabhuji. I'm okay with Hindi. I'm from MP. So,
Yes, okay, Madhu. Still, I will put a poll, but I will keep that in mind. Yes. Thank you, Madhu. Anything else that needs to be discussed at this point? Okay. Thank you, Prabhujis, Matajis, Dhanat Pranam. Thank you for your seva. We'll start sending out some messages. If you have got any query, let me know. I will put a voice note as well so that most of the time the message might not be very clear when we type in. I will put a voice note as well when I do my first assignment to you all. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dhanat Pranam.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
And,